Najam, Gulubekant, Dana Ya, May. So no translation is needed. So actually we're going to do this in English, but May is going to be in the back with the insects. So if you have any questions and you want answers in Hmong, May can answer that. We just want to do about a 5-minute update to let you know what we're working on, and most important, to get your feedback. So if you can help direct our program, what research needs to be done. For example, the little foaming on long beans, that was a grower-interested project. So what we're doing is we're working on 3 project goals. One is to identify the pests and beneficial insects that are on small farms. The next is to develop some kind of a sampling program. What we want to do is to determine when is the best time to apply insecticides. Because if the pest population is too low and you apply insecticides, you just spend money you don't need. And if you wait too long and the pest population builds up too high and you're late, then you get crop damage. So we're trying to figure out the best time to treat. And we're also going to be testing sustainable controls. Things we can do other than pesticides, or maybe softer pesticides like BT. So we've been working on 3 to 5 farms each year, and we go out and we sample about every 2 weeks. We also collect insects, beneficials, and each time we go out, we rate the damage that the insects are causing on the crop. Because some of these insects, like aphids, can really build up on eggplant leaves, but we don't see a lot of damage sometimes to the eggplant. So maybe we don't always need to treat. So May is going to go over very quickly some of these insects that we're finding.
So usually by June and July we have a large amount of lygus, and they're kind of like smaller than every other kind of insect that you'll see, like the cabbage looper and all. And they have a piercing mouth part which will actually puncture the plant. And then the second one we have is aphid. They're usually there throughout the year. And what we have been seeing is that they have been on the long beans and the eggplant. And we also been seeing leaf miner flies on beans and tomatoes, but these are actually larva damage, and we don't really see the larva as much. And for grotto bug, it's starting to become more of a problem because they're starting to come out more often than usual, but they usually appear in the late summer. So by August to October, we see whiteflies, but this year, for some reason, we don't see that much whiteflies coming out. And lastly, we see cabbage looper very often, and they're usually on cabbage or lettuce.
Good. So we're also looking at a lot of the beneficial insects out there. And this is what I focus on. This is my specialty. And the idea is that if we can get more of these in the pests, we don't have to spray. And if you look at some of the other farms on the coast, they're trying to enhance many of these beneficial insects. But we found it's very difficult in some of the small Asian farms because we have so many crops so close together, and the pests are very good at moving. So we get a lot of the pests moving from crop to crop as well. So to study these a little bit closer, we've set up these cages here at Kearney. And it's funny, as easy as it is to find some of these pests out in the field on your farms, we inoculated these cages. We had eggplants growing inside these. We had, what else? Long beans growing inside. We would put aphids inside. We'd put whiteflies inside, stink bugs inside, lygus inside. We had a really hard time getting these insects to take off. And our goal was to find out what kind of damage these would do, with the idea that the whiteflies have to have a lot of numbers to cause damage, whereas only a few stink bugs, because of what May said, the piercing, sucking mouth parts, Just a few of these can go in on some crops and cause damage by poking into the fruit itself. We're going to try this again next year, putting the bugs in a little bit earlier and maybe trying some other crops as well. We're also working with these fig beetles, trying to see with what's causing this white foam. Sai, what's the word for the white foam?
For Hmong word?
Yeah.
Umboa.
Umbwa. Well, May, why don't you take over?
Okay. So usually we see these fig beetles on the long beans very often, but then for some reason when we tried to put it into the cage, it didn't really do anything to the long bean, and then we tried to dip the foam onto the long bean. It wasn't coming out anything either. So we're gonna try this again by next year. And then I'm also working on a project that's weeds influenced by insect. So we're trying to see if the insects from the weed actually go onto the crops and affect the crops, or actually have beneficial in the weed that's probably good for the crops.
Good. Thank you. So that's what we've been doing in 2016. And if you have any questions, May is going to be in the back. We've got some insects there. We've got drawers of beneficial insects underneath glass and pest insects underneath glass.